Welcome back, guys, to the Real Life Fishing Podcast. I'm the host, Jimmy Easterling, and I know it's been maybe almost a month since our last episode. Guys, if you follow along and know well, I've been busy with the move, and then we just had our second baby, little girl. She and the mama are doing really good, and I got a bunch scheduled, a bunch lined up. And guys, man, hey James, I got my little one in here right now. He's got some baits right here. He's going through my baits, but I do have a bunch of podcasts lined up, and I just, I've kind of had to push a couple back. We got this one today with Cody McEntire, nicknamed the Kid. He's still young. He's not really a kid anymore. But guys, it's my first angler from the north. Okay, from North Arkansas. I know there's a bunch of great anglers up there. I like to get to know more. I know of a few just by talking and through people, and Cody was one of them. Cody this last year, yeah, buddy, thanks. Look, talking about the north, he just gave me some jigging wraps. Yeah, buddy, hey, let me finish this, okay? So, guys, Cody, the thing he did this year, he came down and fished the BFLs, which I think was his third year as a boater, but he got fourth in Angler of the Year. And if you look at those other, fourth out of five, if you look at those other 4 in the 5, that dude, he's going to get some hammers, and a great accomplishment to be fourth. So I brought him on. We got to talking a little bit about Cody. Y'all going to get to know him, get to talk about a couple of things that's happened in his life. And guys, I'm excited about this episode. Really am. So I like to, bring dudes from other parts of the states. I have others, anglers lined up as well. I got a big one from out of the state lined up. I've had to push him back. I know I got Buzz Sawyer coming on, guys. Who won the Mr. Bass Championship. I guess that's what they call it, the championship this last year. Come here, dude. I'm just going to put you right here, okay? I'm just going to put you right here. Watch out, there's a mic right there, okay? So, yeah, guys, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do this thing, we're just going to roll with this, all right? So, guys, just a couple, nope, don't touch that. That's my mic, okay? All right, so, also, guys, let's go ahead and talk about, before we get in the podcast, I know I kind of like to want to kind of go over just a recap of what's happening around in the tournaments, just from the fishing reports. I don't know when you're watching this, or actually I do know when you're watching this. There's about to be an Arctic blizzard coming through, the blizzard of 2024, right? So that's going to, kind of get the fish more in winter patterns if they already aren't. Man, I've heard of people still catching fish anywhere from 5 to 50, 60 foot. I haven't been on the water in a week a week and a half due to the baby. So, but I was catching fish Hamilton, Ouachita, anywhere from shallow to deep. And 2 lakes I've been fishing. Actually, guys, on my YouTube channel, maybe by the time you're watching this, I have a trip from DeGray where we cracked them at DeGray. I had 2 high school kids. I might put that link in the description of this as well. So he's bringing all my footballs, guys. So that was a fun day as well. Now, the gray, we caught them fish. The black bass were 15 to 20 foot depth range. Some were 30, but then them hybrids were really deep, But guys, talking about tournaments, since last time I've been on here, I know Michael Morgan's, I just went blank on his trail. Spencer Shuffield and Chris Stennett just, cracked a bag out there. They caught 2 high 6s, 22, 23 pounds. Chris is Southwest Arkansas angler, which, I was down there for a couple years, and those guys down there were hammers. Now I know a lot of people in the central, y'all have some good anglers down there in the southwest. There's some good ones too. Spencer, everybody knows Spencer, so they won that one. I got to fish one of the American Bass team trails with Carson Humphrey. Carson's been on fish at Hamilton, won a tournament, done pretty good. Man, we ended up, I think, 5th or 6th. We had 12.5 pounds. That tournament, Brian Bean won. I don't know if Brian was with Dennis or one of his buddies. I hadn't seen the results. I just know Brian won. I think he had 16. There's a 14 and a 13 maybe. Bo and his dad was in that tournament. They had right over 12 like we did. Then Bo and his dad going to the Brownings. They won the Amblejaw tournament, the New Year's Day one. And something interesting about it was Bo mentioned, or Steven did in a post, that they've never won a team tournament together, which is wow. They fished a lot of, I'm pretty sure, and it shows how hard it is to win at times. When they get to come back home, fish together. So props to the other anglers. Congrats to them on getting a win with a father-son. I got my little one right here. It'd be cool one day to win a tournament with him if he likes to fish. The dude might not want to fish. He might, want to go deer hunt maybe, which I can't help him there, right? Guys, so just that's top of my head. I know we got more tournaments upcoming. The American Bass Trail is going back to Hamilton, and maybe Ouachita too. I don't know. I hadn't looked at schedule. I know Rusty Hook's coming at Hamilton. And then, man, here before we know it, that Open will be here. The Bassmaster Open will be here at Ouachita. We got Trader Bill's kicking off. And I know for me, the high school stuff, there's that first, we have 2 tournaments on the same day. There's our Arclatex series is going to be in Louisiana. and the Bassers is going to be at Hamilton, and I'm going to be taking a team from Nashville there at Hamilton. Hey, Joe James, do we got to throw the balls while I'm doing this? Yeah, guys, y'all are just getting the whole picture right now. Okay. Guys, also, what else happening? Hey, Nick Saban retired. How about that? I know this is not supposed to be a football podcast, but guys, I can talk football and football. Saban retired. People are over here like, oh, it's never going to be the same, blah, blah. Guys, it's not been the same. I mean, ever since the portal happened and ever since NIL happened, it's changed. And Saban, in my opinion, I don't know Saban, but he said, forget it. Forget this. I'm out. Dude was successful, great career. Man, I mean, a lot of coaches wanted to try to strive to be like him. You look at his coaching tree, you can't, I mean, for me as a coach-wise, I mean, it's just unbelievable what he did. And there's always greats that do it. And for him in his career path, he ended up at Alabama, a place that's been successful over history and will continue to be successful over. This is how kind of history repeats itself. And guys, I know like all my Arkansas fans, I mean, just look at, before getting this podcast, just go look at Arkansas football history. It's hard. It's hard for Arkansas to win. Not going to get into that. I can tell you. I mean, just for me as a coach, I mean, I know why, but it's just, anyway. So all these Arkansas fans get mad when they win 8 games. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, y'all just, the winning the football programs like historically win 6 games a year, okay? So guys, I'm going to quit rambling about football, but I can talk about football. Let's get in this podcast, man. I appreciate Cody being on. Any comments, man, go ahead and give me, if you've not subscribed to the channel, once again, check out my YouTube channel, The Fishing Coach. And guys, I appreciate it. Let's go get into it. Yeah, so I know from the north, I've heard the Dustin Blevins name because he came down to the Central and did pretty good in a couple Trader Bills and Mr. Bass, I don't know. But I don't know anybody else really from the north. I know a couple other guys, Connor Crafton, younger guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right now the first angler on the podcast from the north, the kid. We got the kid on here. But glad for you to be on.
Hey man, happy to be here. Glad that you wanted to talk.
Yeah, man. So I know a little bit about you, just from Cannon. I'm looking here, and congratulations. I know we talked a little bit about it, but congrats on the last year in the BFL, being 4th in Angler of the Year against a lot of like veterans on those bodies of water that you are not familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great year last year for sure. I just had a lot of good things go my way, and things kind of worked out.
I mean, your worst finish was 33rd. Like, have you looked at it that way?
Yeah, I have. I think I was on Dardanelle too, which isn't right in my backyard. When I was in college.
Your backyard. It's crazy how that works. The places you know the most about sometimes get you.
Yeah, that place can throw you through a loop for sure. I mean, going in practice there, I had a really good bite going, and this kind of fell apart during the tournament. But I mean, I thought I was going to do very well in that tournament, but it just ended up not working out. But that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Now, out of those lakes, I know is your home lake Norfolk? Would you think your home lake's Norfolk, or what's your home lake?
Yeah, so like that's my home lake. I guess would be Norfolk. This is the biggest lake close to me. It's still 2 hours away. But I grew up fishing there in the summertime. Parents had a little camper deal up there, so we'd go up there in the summertime on the weekends and stuff. And that's kind of where I learned how to fish. Then when I got on into high school a little bit, when I started driving, there's like a few, 2 or 3 small lakes around the house I could go to. Especially this one that's like 15 minutes from the house. And I'd hook up the boat every day after high school and go out there and just start learning and doing everything I can. So, but Norfolk would be the biggest lake around me.
Nice. So Norfolk was your lake, and you've, like I said, you just told me, and it was pretty nice, I guess. Your parents let you hook up the boat and go fish on your own, which is how you learn a lot. But like taking the Norfolk experience in the high school and a little bit of college fishing, and coming down here like on that schedule. Ouachita to Gray, Hamilton. Which one of those lakes, like you would like if you had to pick one, which one would you go fish again? Like, which one was your favorite out of those lakes?
Man, everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I really like Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton to me has always kind of clicked. Which it's a really tough fishery sometimes, but I love it. I mean, it kind of fits my style. I can get shallow, fish man-made cover, grass. I mean, everything. I really like Hamilton.
Podcast is brought to you by Futral Marine. man, for me, it always means a lot to work with a business that has a great family history. The Futrals are great people, and they started off with their store here in Nashville, Arkansas, where I'm located right now. Since then, they've had 3 more stores across the state. You've probably seen and heard about the one on Lake Hamilton. They also got a store at Heber Springs. Hey, if you're looking for a newer used boat, check out Futral Marine, and they can also serve you in any of your boating needs.
Hamilton, there's some people that's always caught him at Hamilton. I'm not one of those guys. I'll tell you right now, like growing up, I hated Hamilton. Like I had one big bag there, and that was a flirtation. Like it was a winter flirtation bag. But Ouachita to Gray were always my places. But I moved and started seeing Hamilton and the fish starting to show up. And then I hadn't fished it much since I've been here, but I went out there with Carson, who's pretty good, of course. But I went out there on my own, and dude caught a big and a couple others, and I'm like, dude, I want to get back out here. Like it dang fired me up.
Yeah, I mean, Canada's tell me all the time about these winter tournaments out there, and I'm like, man, I'd love to go out there and fish one of them things.
Yes, and the lake's lower, so the fish kind of get conjugated in spots. But yeah, you got to fish it in the dang fall when it was taking 7 pounds a day to get a check.
It was brutal then. I mean, dealing with all them party boaters and then just tough fishing on top of that. But I mean, that's the kind of fishing I like to do.
Yeah. So, hey, we're going to talk about a lot. I know we're going to go everywhere on this. So, one thing I know we want to talk about fishing, of course. I can talk fishing all day. But we are going to talk about some life stuff, man. You had an event that, man, was very life-changing to you. And you luckily came out. I think you came out okay. I mean, you're sitting here talking to me right now. But you had a pretty bad car. You had a pretty bad car wreck experience, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, that was a wild story, just all together. But so basically, it's just me and a few buddies heading to Jonesboro one day from where I live in Walnut Ridge, and then a lady came across and hydroplaned, but that experience really kind of put things into perspective for me, like what's important in life. So I was able to get like a whole new outlook on life through that, and I think that's helped me get like my mind right about everything too. I mean, have a bad day out there fishing, it's just a bad day of fishing. I mean, move on to the next day.
That's right. That's right. Like, was your friends okay too? Was everybody all right, or I don't know the whole deal, but
yeah. So we had like nothing like huge. One girl had like kind of a real scary experience. She broke her sternum.
Wow.
And then, but that was able to heal after a while. I shattered about, I don't know if you can see it, but like from here and right here, well, I'll do it like this. From here up and like across, everything right here kind of got shattered. So I was dealing with that for all summer. Buddy broke his shoulder, and my other buddy just had a back concussion out of that deal. So I mean, nothing too major. Everyone came out okay. So
yeah, no, that's the thing, man. Like
the day after I got done, the day after, like I started to get just the cast on that hand, and then like the day I got that taken off, I remember I couldn't fish for 2 months in the summertime, and it was just killing me. And it's like the day I got that taken off, I went out there to the lake, a village lake up here called Cherokee Village, and I was out there throwing a deep crankbait with a half broken wrist, and we were catching them left and right. I mean, it was stupid, but it was fun.
Heck yeah, man. That's why I've known, me being in the education world and just being part of communities, man, dude, you hear about car wrecks and kids dying, man, and it always impacts communities, and it's sad. And like I said, luckily for your case, you're still here. I've known other people. I mean, we've all been in wrecks possibly, and people listening. Like I hydroplaned. It was me and my wife now, but we were dating in high school. We had some other people in the car, but we had a bad hydroplane experience. It was just us. And luckily nothing happened. Like to us, the car might have got dent up, but it was a spot to where it was a spot in the road to where like a year later, a kid we knew did the same thing but passed, and I was just like, wow, man. Yeah. So like you never know, man. So yeah, I wanted to get into the life stuff.
Yeah, man. So I mean, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
I was just gonna like kind of dive into all of that, but what exactly do you want to know about?
Wait. We're going to cut that part
I
out.
kind of messed this whole deal up.
No, that part's out. That part's out. So we're going to cut that part out real quick. No, it was going, but so hey, I'm about to talk about some more of the BFL because I'm looking at something I don't know if you've looked at. Because you might have looked at it. All right. So hey, in the BFL standings, I already mentioned you were 4th. Okay. Wayne Dixon was 1st. Brian Bean was 2nd. Chris Hustleton was 3rd. Then here's the kid, Cody McEntire, the kid. Jeremiah Kendy's 5th. Like, out of the top 5 dudes there, I mean, between Wayne Dixon, Bean, Hustleton, and Kendy, there's been a lot of money won. And for you to be 4th, and I know earlier you were like, hey, it's a fluke. It's a fluky, and I'm over here like, nah, man, it's, you put your time in and work. Now, you didn't just come in this thing as a pro this year and did this. You did the high school. You did co-angler, right? How many years did you do the co-angler?
Yes, I did co-angler for, I think it was a year and a half or right at 2 years. I jumped in them as soon as I turned 16. I remember I fished, there was a super tournament in Hamilton. And I turned 16 like a few days before that. And I knew that was like the age you had to be. So I jumped in it. And so I fished, that was my first co-angler event. I fished those for 2 years. And then I guess it was 3 years ago that I started fishing as a pro.
So did you have any bad co-angler experiences, or were they all like good? Like, how was your co-angler experience? Because I can get on the co-angler thing.
Overall it was great. Learned a lot. Met a lot of great guys. I got a really good friend now. He was one of the first boaters I drew out that I still talk to all the time, and we room together sometimes. But I had one kind of crazy experience. Is that first BFL I was telling you about in Hamilton? Drew out with a guy, and when you come out of the hatchery and you make a left, like you're headed under the bridge. Well, he never did check up right there at that corner. He didn't trim down, nothing, just hauling it wide open through there, and we hit a wave and we started flying through there sideways, like, oh my God, what did I get into? But they were all great guys. Ended up with a 4th place finish on the co-angler side one time with Adam Wright, I believe. He was a really great guy. Helped me out a ton that day. But yeah, overall, it was a great experience.
So, time out. Was that the only co-angler you fished that year, the one where you flew out of the boat?
Yes, yeah.
I'm looking at it now. So I got my other computer here. So that was a fall tournament though. So that wasn't a winter tournament.
Yeah,
so you could at least swim.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Oh
okay.
No, I didn't fall out of the boat. We were just like we were flying through the air in the boat, like you jump a wake like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
Yeah. A little 16-year-old had never been in like any tournament, like big tournaments like that. I was like, this is what have I got into here?
Yeah, you're surprisingly you fished another one.
Yeah.
So I shared. I don't know how many of the podcasts you listen to, but Derek Sandlin. When I did some co-angler stuff, I got with Derek, and dude, I'm not going to get in the whole deal, but I shared on the podcast how his motor did blow, and dude, we did here's the boat, and it blew, and the boat hopped in the air, did a 180, landed, and went again, and I'm just over here
gosh.
Yeah, we're in a Bass Cat Puma. He's driving like he dang stole it. And dude, I don't know how we didn't fly out of the boat. We just literally went up, back up, and kind of went sideways. And it happened so quick. I don't know how we didn't fly out. How people didn't hit us because it was a mountain harbor, and it was like we didn't even hit the big water yet. It was just right around those islands.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that stuff's dang scary. I'm not. Cannon might have told you, dude, I don't drive fast. There was a tournament this year. It was a night tournament. I don't fish many tournaments. But the guy I was with is a dang racer. Now, he came in my boat because his boat was getting worked on. And, dude, it was a shotgun start tournament. And I've been on fish. And now this guy, though, is one of the best night fishermen I know. And so, dude, we going, shotgun start. He's like, where are we going? I'm like, dude, I'm just going to sit here and let these boats run everywhere, and I'm going to see where they're fishing. I was like, I'm going to see if they're on this hole or that hole. I was like, I got fish here. There was one spot I didn't want anybody even to see me fishing. Like, I was paranoid about one spot. And so, dude, like, they take off, and I just sit there. And he's over here like, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, I'm not racing them. I'm like, So then we know, eventually nobody was on like 4 holes where I knew fish was at, and I was like, all right, cool. That's part of my deal. Those small lakes, like those community stuff, like North Fork or whatever, those guys know all the holes. But that day, there was 4 they weren't on, so we picked one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Kenny can tell you a lot of stories about me scaring him in the boat.
Did y'all?
Last week at Harris Chain.
Yeah. Did y'all blow a motor last year too? Did y'all blow a motor? Was that something that happened?
Yeah, we did. We blew that actually Lake the Ozarks last year. I think it was early spring, sometime around there. We drove like the 5 or 6 hour drive, however far it is up there from Russellville, and stayed the night. Woke up the next morning for practice, and went and put it in the water. And it was like 30-something degrees that morning. I turned it on, let it warm up. He went and parked the truck, and I was just easing around, kind of letting the motor warm up. That's what I've always been told growing up. It's a super cold morning, let the motor warm up. So we were going to ease out there to the no-wake zone, and I was like, it's like 30 degrees. I'm not getting over like 40 miles an hour today. So I get up on pad, and then all of a sudden I hear like a clunking sound, and my motor starts losing power. And I'm like, oh my God, what could this possibly be? And then I shut down, and the motor just turned itself off. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I've never experienced that before. And try to turn back on, it won't. I'm like, I just blew this thing up. I knew exactly what it was. But I sit there trying to tell myself, like, no, it's something simple. It ain't that big of a deal. But I knew it blew up. And so after we finally got back to the ramp, it took us a while to get back because we had a troll motor. And we weren't far from the ramp, but I called around a few places there, and they was all getting busy. They was busy from getting boats ready to go for the springtime and stuff. And so I ended up driving to Mountain Home to the guy that works my boat, and he took the cowling off, pulled one spark plug out, and was like, "Yeah, you're $10,000 in the hole now." I'm like, "Awesome." So,
yeah. Now, did y'all get to fish that tournament again, or I forgot? Did y'all or did y'all not?
No, we actually just went home. We got to make a few casts out there on that lake, but since that motor blew up, we just went home. It wasn't a whole lot we could do then.
So did that tournament affect y'all for this national championship, or did it not let y'all go to the other? Like, how did that affect y'all not being able to fish?
No, so that tournament right there was to qualify for this national championship, and I thought that was our best chance of qualifying. It's like Ozark Lake, and I'm real familiar with it, and Cannon's got some good familiarity on that Ozark Lakes, and so I was really looking forward to that tournament. But we ended up going to Sam Rayburn September, right before my birthday, and we had no idea what to expect out there. I mean, I've been to Fork, I know he has too, but stuff like that we don't have any experience with. We actually ended up qualifying. We were 5th place in that out of 200-something boats, had 16 pounds that day. And so that actually was kind of came back around to qualify us for this tournament.
That's awesome, because like, and I kind of, that's all coming together now. I didn't know Sam was the reason y'all qualified for this one. I'm trying to pull the results up now, but like Sam's a dang, with not having any experience on it, it's a dang intimidating place because of how big it is.
Yeah. Dude, that place is huge. I mean, you can put in, I can't remember the name of where we put in at, but it's on the very backside of the lake down there by the dam, and you can look out across there and I'll see land ahead of you. And I've been on Kentucky Lake and Pickwick and a few big lakes like that where it's, you think it's big, but you get on a lake like that and you're like, oh, wow, this is huge.
Yes. I remember my first time at Toledo. Like, dude, Toledo Bend, it was eye-opening. Like, I was a high school kid, and I like, the other side is like 4 miles away, and I'm just like, what in the world? This is big.
Yeah.
For Sam,
I'm break down something like that. But
Yeah. How many days were y'all there before the tournament? Like, did y'all go 2 or 3 days?
We were there for 3 days before. We kind of picked one arm of the lake. It's kind of like, it looks kind of like forest, got 2 big arms on it. So we picked the one big arm, it's got like the black forest in it area. And we kind of picked out one section of that lake, or one section of that arm each day. And kind of broke it down.
All right, so looking at this tournament at, Sam, y'all were 5th, but I can't find another Arkansas team till 30th place. And that was Arkansas Tech. And I know, like, you and Cannon are going to be humble about it, but I'm just going to be real. It's pretty hard to go to dang Sam Rayburn with no history and compete with Sam Houston State, Stephen F. Austin, Dallas Baptist, and then to qualify. So y'all did something big. Like, how do y'all even know the number you needed to place to qualify? Was it like 20th, or was it had to be like 5th?
So that Arkansas Tech team that was 30th or wherever they were, that was the cutoff. And normally it's like 25 votes, but since people had already double qualified, they had to keep going down the list. So I can't remember how many pounds they had, but wherever that was the cutoff. And that was just a crazy day in general. I mean, that was one of the days that you could not do no wrong, really.
Now, I don't want to go in depth on the pattern. If y'all don't want to, that's fine. But, like, just you and Cannon driving down to Rayburn, talking in the truck, did y'all imagine catching the fish like y'all did?
Oh, not a chance. I mean, so we ended up catching our fish. We were in the middle of the lake, over 50 foot of water, to make your rigging and jerkbaiting fish. They were schooled up out there on shad, and they weren't holding on a creek channel out there. They just out there on, I guess, massive flats. And we caught probably right at 12, 13 pounds like doing that. And then my troll motor actually died. A huge front came in and got super windy. And so we were like, all right, we need to start heading back to the ramp because we know it's going to be really bad right there in that open water. And so we start heading back down, and these are like, no joke, 6-7 foot waves. I mean, I've never been in anything like this. It takes a lot to scare me in a bass boat, but I was scared that day a little bit getting back. So we left really early. I think we still had like 2 or 3 hours left to our way in. There's a little hump down there on the dam that we had a few bites off of in practice, so we kind of went to it and let the wind drift us down the dam a little bit. And we were up there. Canyon was up there on scope, and he's like, "Dude, that's a giant." And so he throws down there when he sees his fish, and it immediately runs up to it and eats it. And he's like, "Man, I think it's a striper or a white bass something because it's not really coming up." Well, then after a while, it comes up right outside the boat, and he's like, "Dude, it's a freaking giant! Get the net!" And so we netted it. It was like a 6.5 or right at 6 pounds, something like that, which got us to 16 pounds. But I mean, we thought we would go down there, catch them out of the offshore grass, brush piles, that whole ordeal. And we caught a few like that, but all of our fish came off out there in the middle of the lake, 50 foot Demicky rigging. And we really we got lucky finding those fish. We were driving across the lake to go fish this cove. We would go in there, throw a chatterbait and stuff in some offshore grass. And he's like, "Look, dude, they're over there schooling." So we pulled there and caught a few schoolers, but we had no idea they were going to be like 2 or 3 pounders. So
I love that's how fishing goes. You think there's a lot of times you go to the lake thinking you're going to catch them this way, and then you do something. That's what I love about fishing. You just never know for sure. And that was Cannon's biggest bass in 23. I mean, how about that? Yeah. It has been in a tournament.
Yeah, on a spinning pole.
On a dang spinning rod, fairy wand, as I like to call them. What was your biggest bass in 23?
Let's see. I think it was a 714.
Nice, that's a good one. Where at?
So this will be lake by my house. It's called Lake Charles. I was out there in early spring, and I broke my PB twice that day. I went out there for like 3 or 4 hours one afternoon. Caught like a 7.2 right off the bat, and I was like freaking out. I was like, this is giant. Then caught a 4-pounder, like another 2 or 3 pounder, and then I caught another 7-pounder right there at the end of the day. It was like a 714. Had me like 21.5 pounds, something like that, for 4 fish.
Dang. Yeah, it's hard to catch 2 7-pounders in a day in Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean that was my best day in Arkansas last year for sure.
Yeah, Heck yeah. So hey, kind of going back now, I was going to hit on this some, and I know you might not want me to. So you got this nickname, the Kid. How did that come about? I think and I think it's great. You probably hate it now, but like I think it's like a branding opportunity. Like I do, like you had it.
Yeah.
I mean, people in your part of the state know you as it. Now I know you're like an adult. Like, I mean, dude, you're legal enough to drink a beer and have. I mean, you can have a kid and family, whatever. But like, where did the Kid come about?
So like I was telling you earlier, as soon as I turned 16, I started jumping in the BFLs. And then, like, just the people around the BFL scene just started calling me the Kid. And so it just kind of like caught on from there. And then I kind of used that as like my hashtag, my fishing Facebook deal. And he's kind of been using that ever since, and kind of just stuck around.
Yeah, now you're like a dang, I guess, I don't know, we need to call you the young adult, the young man, or the Kid. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
so people.
Me and Candace talking about yesterday. They're like, a couple of days ago, I was like, dude, yeah, the kid's like, all right, and everything cool. But like, I'm 21. Like, well, they call me the young man now.
Dude, and so like, I mean, I was 21 once, and I'm not like dang old, but like, people always gave me a hard time for looking young. Like, dude, like I was dang calling football plays at 23 years old, 24, and I look like I'm coaching kids that look older than me. And but you're like a baby faced. I mean, just like I could shave now and look like I'm dang 21. So you still the Kid fits. But I think it's great.
Yeah, I can't be like Cannon up here looking like I'm 27.
Yeah, Cannon went from like a dang 14, 15-year-old to a 26-year-old, 20, 30-year-old. I mean, I mean, that dude hit the weight room. I mean, he never like touched weights in high school, and he all of a sudden started lifting, and he got some facial hair.
Oh yeah.
But so your goals. So you just graduated college. What'd you graduate with? What's your degree?
I got my degree in business management.
Okay. Do you have any plans? You know what you're about to do?
I mean, still working on that one right now. I work for a guy back home. I do get duck and goose guides. So that's going to last me to about middle of March. We go through snow goose season. And then I've kind of been dabbling around the idea of maybe trying to be a game warden. Because I just can't do like an office job, 9 to 5, normal thing. I want to be outside where things are like constantly changing. So that's kind of that one job that really interests me. Kind of ties in my hobbies and my loves of the outdoors. So, but besides that, I don't know. Just kind of keep chugging along, trying to figure it out.
So wait, you're 21 and you graduated college. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Because like I know like anybody listening and normal people know like that's hard. Like I graduated college early too. That's hard. I mean, you normally change a degree. You might whatever. But congrats to you there. But I guess like you said, you guide. Duck guiding pays decent. So you might be able to duck.
For a kid. Yeah, for a kid that still lives at home, ain't really got any responsibilities or really real bills. I mean, it's doing good.
I just had my second one though, dude. Life's great. Like, we had a little girl.
Candace, tell me about that.
Yeah, dude. It's I got a 21-month-old, now a little 4-day-old. Man, dude, it's sweet right now. If I was doing my job that I'm doing now before, like I had a family, dude, it would like I'd be never sleeping. But having a family kind of like family's first, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But
you're gonna be a busy man these next few months, years, and
yes, one of the quotes I got told by my father-in-law yesterday is like, "Passion never rests," and I was like, "Dude, that is me, 100%."
Yeah.
Fishing.
You're like, I mean, Candace telling me all the time how you're like going and doing this and that. I'm like, golly, how does he keep up?
Dude, like people don't get it. Like fishing's the easy part, but the editing and all, and like just making it work. And like I'm not like behind because I started later and I got brought into it. But like, and I know what I'm doing. But like coaching, dude, like I was set. But if I was doing this like y'all's age, that's how I think of it. So I'm trying to get the foundation, get it going, and yeah, like I'm just gonna give it everything. But there's a lot of like days I don't sleep. I go 20 hours. It's
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's just how my brain's wired, man. So now I got another kid, so we'll figure it out. But hey, so man, back to you. So are you still going to be wanting to do the BFLs? Are you going to try to go to Mr. Bass? Any other new like? Are you looking at the Opens? I mean, what do you want to do?
Yes, I'm for sure going to do the BFLs again this year. I mean, I kind of was telling you earlier about how I think that fourth place this year is kind of like a fluke. Like, I mean, I had a lot of good things go my way, but I'm not really going to recognize that unless I can do it again this year. And then I'm thinking about maybe jumping in a few Toyota Series, seeing how I do there. Besides that, that's going to be my main tournament schedule. I might fish a few like club tournaments around the house. But yeah, mostly BFLs and maybe a few Toyota Series.
So them BFLs, dude, being like not close to you, you got to dang travel. Like, do we get hotels? I mean, I guess you get with the buddies. How do you do all that?
So it kind of works out good. There's only like 2 or 3 tournaments I'm gonna have to get a hotel or a house, something like that for. It's like Uris Ferry, I got my buddy that lives there. Dardanelle, I'm just gonna crash my old place, Cannon. Then like the gray one, I'm gonna have to figure out something for that. And then I think can't remember what the other one. Oh, Hamilton. Hamilton. It's Washita. Washita, I got a buddy's house I can stay at. So really, only like DeGray, I'm gonna have to figure something out with, and Bull, I got a place I can stay at.
Yeah, and DeGray and Washita aren't far either. So looking at the schedule, you got Washita February, DeGray March, Hamilton's April. Dude, I mean, it's a pretty good schedule. I like the DeGray one in March. I mean, I think that could be good. Washita February. The only problem about Washita February 25th, them dang open pros are about to be there beforehand, and they're going to bang it, and them fish are going to just they're going to get pressure. The lake's huge, though. That Hamilton April tournament, that's going to be an intriguing one, too. Like, how would you in April, I'm going to tell you how I might attack it in April. How would you, like, base, I don't want to go in the juice, go after Hamilton in April?
So, I mean, that's about the time of year that they start getting up shallow, doing their deal. But, I mean, in every practice or every tournament I fish, I want to find something offshore because things offshore are more consistent for me. Like if weather changes, that offshore stuff's kind of going to be still good. But I'm going to try to get up there, get in some backwater. I say backwater, like it's Dardanelle, but Hamilton, so try to get far back there in some pockets as I can. Kind of see what's going up shallow, but I'm going to spend a lot of time graphing, trying to find some fish that are post-spawn, pre-spawn, kind of doing that deal.
Yeah, that was going to be, I was just curious because you said it. I know I'm not like, my weakness is sight fishing. Like, and I'm not going to go beat those dudes that can sight fish. So, and in Arkansas, dude, they typically spawn late anyway. Definitely that lake, dude. That lake is later. So I would almost say, for me, not you, you might be a pretty good dang sight fisherman. I'm not. I would say screw it, and I'm going to try to find offshore fish. I would live and die by pre and post spawners. Mainly, I try to find some pre's, but I know I'm not going to beat some of those dudes looking at them, and I'm not patient enough. I mean, if they eat, that's great, but I can't sit on a fish for 30 minutes and just play.
I'm not good at it either. Yeah, I'm not good with it either. Mostly, I mean, I kind of did it this year. I went up shallow. I can't remember the exact date when was at Hamilton this year, but I was up shallow, got my limit pretty quick. Then I went offshore trying to upgrade the rest of the day. So that's probably going to be the same ordeal this year. At least I hope so. Maybe I might find something really good offshore, start on it, or find like a little special pocket. I don't know.
Yeah, now, hey, family-wise, was it just you that fish, or did your dad, grandpa, uncle, who got you into fishing?
So it was my dad and grandpa. My dad, he was the biggest influence. He fished tournaments back in the day, and he had a bass cat when I was growing up. So we was all the time out there on the lake. And but like when I was in the summertime, when I was over at my grandma and grandpa's house, me and my grandpa hook up the boat and go over to Charles, something like that, and fish for the day. And So I learned a lot from them guys for sure.
Heck yeah! What was there like a technique that was there a technique that like they were pretty good at? Like,
yeah. So like my dad, he loves throwing a shaky head and a spook, and especially down there at North Fork, we'd always put in down there by the dam in the summertime. And there's just one pocket over there. You can go there and you can kill them off spook in the morning if they're generating pulling water. So we do that, and then when they quit busting or quit pulling water, we back off the bank a good ways and start throwing that shaky head, catch some good smallmouth and all that. So I kind of learned, I guess you consider that current related fish, schooling fish and all that, and then also kind of learned when to put that down and go slow. So.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, that's great. Did you do much night fishing growing up, or you just straight day fishing?
No, it was straight day fishing. I didn't really get into night fishing until probably 3 or 4 years ago. Up here at these village lakes they put on a little deal Tuesday nights that I started going to, and I loved it. I mean, I've caught some big fish at night in the summertime. It's kind of really opened my eyes to what happens in the nighttime more than fishing would go to, and why, if you go fishing bright early in the morning, while they're not in one spot yet, they're still not coming to it, but they haven't got there yet.
Yeah. I wish. That's one thing. I told you, like, I can sit at my computer and work. I can be up late, but dude, when I fish all night, dude, like, it messes me up for like 2 days. And I know people that fish all night and still work, and they just go. And I just don't know, like, because I love night fishing. I don't do it like some people do. I wish, but like one of my goals this year down here, like Hamilton, there's a bunch of bigs caught at night this year. And I'm now like, dude, I'm 30 minutes from Hamilton. I got to go freaking find one of them. Just because
you got to go do that. I mean, there's giants.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, crap. I mean, I know like 10-pounders caught this year at night, which in Arkansas is dang. Yeah. I mean, that's a mega.
Unheard of.
Yes, so. Yeah. But I just didn't know, you said your dad and grandpa. Sometimes those older guys night fish a lot, so that's why I was asking that. I was like, I didn't know if they were night fishermen.
Yeah, man, it's hard to do around the house. I got to drive an hour away to get in the hills. Cause like around the house, if you go night fishing, you better have like a full bug seat. Them mosquitoes will carry you away. It's bad.
The Delta does it.
Yeah, we've got rice fields and mosquitoes.
So hey, the Arkansas Tech experience, man, is it been a positive one? Man, was it what you expected? Just talk a little bit about the Arkansas Tech experience.
Dude, it was great. I mean, it was everything I expected. I've got to travel all over the place. I mean, I'm in Florida right now. I wouldn't have got to do that any other way. And fishing around them guys, hanging out around them, they've taught me a lot, especially about Dardanelle. And that was a huge thing. They're just having Dardanelle in my backyard. I can go out every day after class if I wanted to. But no, it was great. I mean, they're working on a great team. Just great right now. They got a lot of awesome things planned for the future. But yeah, I'd highly recommend anybody in high school that's looking to go to college fish to definitely check them out.
Yeah, Tech's always been like the one above all the others. Arkansas has at times been there. Euler's had a team sometimes. Henderson, I don't even know if they have a team anymore. SAU's trying, I guess, or they're there, but it always seems like Tech has been. And Tech's put out good anglers, we know, but it's, I mean, how many are on the team? Like 20 or so? Like, how many is?
I think we have around 20 or 30, something like that. I think more towards 20. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying, there's been great guys that come out of Tech. I mean, like Evan Barnes and wasn't Kevin Brown? Kevin Brown went through there, I think.
I know his wife Reagan.
Reagan. Yeah.
Reagan killed it. We know Matt Baker, but there's a few more than just those. Dustin Higgins.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just been a lot that has came through, and for sure.
Yeah. And I remember going back in like the AFCO tournaments that have been there every year. Like going back and watching the old ones of those and seeing those guys, and I'm like, that's crazy how back in the day the team was just as strong then as it is now, and it's cool to see.
Yeah. So hey, like earlier, I talked to you about goals, and you didn't mention fishing. Like, do you want to like find a way in it, or is it just going to kind of stay as a hobby, kind of side deal? Like, I mean, like, have you ever thought about like trying to make that jump?
Yeah, I mean that's my whole life growing up. I was like, I want to be a pro and travel all over the place, but kind of getting now to where you gotta start making things happen. I kind of want to hold off on that for just a little bit. I know everyone's saying, right now it's time to do it, but I don't really know. For one, I don't know if I'm good enough for like jumping in the opens and trying to make it there.
Yeah.
But two, that's just it's a huge time commitment right now, and it's a huge financial commitment on top of that. And I've heard stories of guys going thousands and thousands of dollars in debt over that right now when they try to get into it young, and I really don't know. I really don't want to do that. So yes, the goal still is that, but later on down the road, for sure, I want to get to a place where I'm financially stable, to where I and have a job or something like that I can leave and go do that, and not worry about anything.
Yeah, smart man. I'm telling you, like there's a lot of guys doing it right now that are barely making money, like in the tournament side.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. After I've gotten into the fishing world, I hear the stories, I see it, but there's a lot of young guys that do it, like you said, get in debt, and then they quit fishing. So it is good to have a base, not jump into it too soon, because I still think opportunity is going to be there. Eventually, this thing's going to blow up, and I think people are going to less try to do it, and then there's going to be opportunities to do it. And like the biggest thing with the fishing stuff is trying to find a way to make it. My thing was I always wanted to do it, not like tournaments. I never had no desire to be a dang tournament angler. Like, it'd be cool to win a Bassmaster Classic, yes, but to get there, I was like, nah. I just would love to get in the Classic and go fish for it. But I never imagined doing what I was doing, but I know I had an opportunity. But I always was like, hey, can I guide? Can I edit? Is there something I can do? And then, I'm in it. But then there's like, the guys I know that are successful have like multiple ways of making money. And that's like what I'm trying to do. Yeah. It's hard to do it just off tournaments.
Yeah, very hard. And, you talking about the guiding thing, that is something I want to do. I've done a little bit of it already.
Yeah.
And if that's how I make my way in the fishing industry, so be it. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that keeps me in fishing, but at the same time making good money and not being $1,000 in debt, trying to chase a dream that could or could not happen.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and like you said already, you love being outdoors. You probably like to be around people, so that's just one of the things. And where you live, dude, like that's the thing about me that was tough where I was at. Now I'm up here in Hot Springs; it's different. But like you have history on Norfolk, Bull. I'm saying you do too, dude. People travel up there, so you can make a decent side job or career out of it. But like, dude, when I was down there in Southwest Arkansas, even Millwood, dude, some people would want to go to Millwood, but dude, Millwood's not been near as good as what it used to do, and dude, they don't come like they would once come. And even this year, with me starting this year, and the guiding's my part-time deal, dude, I turned more people away from Millwood. They'd call me and like, hey, let's go. I want to go catch an 8-pounder, and I'm like, hey, dude, we might not catch an 8-pounder. I'm like, it is not easy right now. The fishing's tough. I was like, hey, let's go to one of these tri-lakes and catch 20 to 25 pounds offshore. And they'd be like, no, I want to go throw a frog. And I'm just like, crap. And I should have just took the people to Millwood and took their money, but I didn't want to do that. I was up front. I was like, hey, dude, it's hard to... I was like, hey, Millwood's not near as good as what it was. And Cannon's probably told you some of the stories, dude. Like, when I first moved down there, like, dude, we cracked them. And the locals were like, hey, dude, it's not near as good as what it was. And I'm over here like, whatever. And then 5 years later, I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, I want it to be like it was 5 years ago. And so...
Yeah. But But like what you were saying, I mean, you have to do that, like turn people away like that to like make a good name for yourself. If you were teaching guys and just they had a bad experience, then that would have had a bad rep for your name. But you did the right thing for sure.
Yeah, and the one dude that listened, he had the best day fishing of his life. It was that crazy day we had at Derek's. Had like, dude, I didn't weigh all the fish, but I'll tell you right now, we had 26 minimum pounds. And that dude never fished offshore.
Yeah.
And, dude, it was an unbelievable day. And that dude was like, thank you for not taking me to Millwood. I'm like, dude, we wouldn't have caught – I was like, dude, we would have caught 10 pounds at Millwood. I mean, we did that in 2 fish here.
Right.
And so but, man, but, dude, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to say? Any thanks or anything to anybody?
Yeah, for sure. Especially a huge thanks to my parents. I mean, they've been the biggest supporter for me. I mean, they flew in today to Florida to come watch me weigh in and take off. I mean, it don't get no better than that. They've helped me out so much along the way. I'll never be able to thank them enough. But and all my family that watches my weigh in and stuff back home supports me, sends me texts. I mean, it means a lot. So I really appreciate all them guys.
Heck yeah, man! That's some good stuff right there. Love the parents flying down there. Are y'all doing anything after the tournament, or just tournament and going home?
Man, I think we're just gonna tournament and go home. I know we got that huge Arctic blast coming Friday night, so we're gonna try to make it home before that hits.
I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, that might make travel interesting for you guys.
Yeah, it's like a 12 to 14 hour trip, right around 14 after stopping all that. So we're probably gonna leave about 2 in the morning and try to get back as soon as we can.
Hey, did you get new bearings? We got new bearings for the trailer though?
Yeah, we got that. We had to hobble around on 3 tires for a while, but we got her fixed up. So hopefully nothing else wild or crazy happens, and we can make it back in one piece.
Heck yeah, man! A good deal. I appreciate you having on, man. And once again, man, appreciate it, guys. And anybody, hey, if you're watching the channel on YouTube or if you're listening on podcast, man, or Spotify, whatever, if you're on YouTube, man, leave a comment. Let me know any questions for Cody, anything for me. I'm trying on this podcast again to have, we've had some Central Arkansas guys, and now I'm trying to get a Northerner. He's a